Are you sure you want to start, or do you want me to go first?
If you want to... I'll tell you what, I'll start.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Hello and welcome...
Which bit do you want me to do?
I'll tell you what. If you just let me talk, then I'll point to you to say when you can do your thing, yeah?
Okay, got you.
All right. Hello!
What am I doing when I do my thing? Same as last
I'll tell you
time.
what. Yeah, same as last
Same as
time.
last time. Okay,
Do
got
that.
it.
Do that. That'll be ace. That way then, this can move on quicker.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Got it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to TTW. I'm Paul and this is...
I'm Riley Rivers.
And you're watching...
Backdoor Access.
Backstage Access.
You're watching TTW Backstage Access.
Oh, I am Leroy James, General Manager of Top Turnbuckle Wrestling, and welcome to Backstage Access.
Hello and welcome back to the second of these TTW Backstage Access. Today we're going to be analysing the results from the show Alter Beats, yeah?
Yes.
Now
that is
we
exactly
are...
what we're going to be doing.
That's exactly what we're going to be doing. And we had some fantastic time there, didn't we?
I did. I had a fantastic time.
Excellent. I've noticed that you've brought that monstrosity back, haven't you, mate?
I'm still the reigning champion.
I'm assuming you are the reigning champion with that belt because nobody else couldn't imagine wearing it. Only you, mate. I think they have that much respect for what you have for that belt and that monstrosity.
I had a couple of people talk to me about it at the show. And
Yeah?
I think I might be setting something up soon to try and defend it.
You reckon?
Yes.
In what way? You think the winner then burns it, or?
No, well then it'll keep going on until the next person beats it off them. But they weren't going to beat me, so it won't. It'll still be mine.
So how do you get the belt then?
You beat me.
But when they beat you still have it.
But what do you mean? So they can beat me, and then.
Anyway, so action-packed as usual from TTW. We had our first match, which was Reed Lahava. It is Lahava, isn't it? You still admiring your belt there, yeah?
You just really worried me a bit, Paul.
Why?
So I could lose my belt.
That's the whole point of belts. You have to try and retain it. You earn it. You don't just keep it.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay. Yeah.
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 I mean, if you could lose it, that'd be fantastic. And when I say lose it, I mean like just throw it somewhere, forget about it. You know,
No.
if you could bury it, would be even better. That'd be fantastic. Yes, going back to our first match, we had Reed Lahava versus the Witch. So one half of Wildside versus Hex. Yeah, so
One half of Hex.
one half of Hex. Heh. Is that the joke you was trying to do?
Hex.
One half heh, and the other one would be X, wouldn't it? See, I can do jokes. It's not just you. Tell a joke to.
I don't get it.
It's half of Hex, and the other half is X. X. Wildside would be wild, and tell a joke, Riley. I'm sure the audience would love to hear one of Riley Rivers' classics.
Why are chickens funny?
I don't know why.
Because they are.
Brilliant.
Do you get it?
Oh yeah. So our first match, Reed Lahava versus the Witch. One half of Wildside versus one half of X. So that match panned out. We had Reed. Now I've got to admit, he's been training again. He's been training like he did last time, but he's training again. And you got evil. I have to admit, Hex. I can't stand the pair of them. They are cheaters. They are liars. They are scum. And yeah, I know they're bad guys,
They
but
smell
they do. They reek. They honk. But I tell you one thing, I'm sick to death of all the cheating and everything like that. It's not fair. It's not fair at all. You got Djinn going around the sides trying to do stuff. It's just for me. I'm just getting sick of it. I need a nice, clean win. And to be fair, we did have that in the end with Reed. You were reffing again.
I wasn't reffing this one. No,
You wasn't reffing
I
this
wasn't
one?
reffing this one. I came out for the next one.
Oh,
So
okay.
I made sure nothing happened
For the next
for
one.
the next one.
For the next
But
one.
This one was another referee.
So, Reed did pick up the win though for Wildside on that one, which is fantastic. But because of the altercation at the end of the match, out comes General Manager Leroy James. He comes out to make sure that things are going to get fair and square, and we have Sam versus Djinn as the next match. The other half of Wildside and the other half of X. Now, you were reffing on this one.
I was reffing on this.
How did you think this went down? Because even though you didn't see the full extent of what was going on in the first match, you were there in the thick of it for the second one. It was rough, wasn't it? Go on, Tom.
It was a brawl right from the get-go.
It was.
There was very little wrestling happened for the first 10 minutes, and they were just hitting each other. I had to tell them off multiple times for trying to close fists. It was just a brawl.
Yeah, it was. It was quite.
But it was a
brutal.
nice clean finish, and everything went. It wasn't the result we wanted, but it was a
True.
nice clean finish. There was no dirty tactics,
True.
nothing.
True. I have to admit, Djinn ripped off Sam's shirt, leaving him bare-chested. I know
He
there
wasn't
was
bare-chested. He got another shirt on underneath.
no. That was.
I
I
thought
know
he
that
got
was,
my belt.
It was a bit hairy. It was a little bit hairy, but I have to admit there was one or two women at the back that went, "Ooh."
Well, somebody said, "Tell him to stop pulling his hair," and I went, "But he's all hair," and I didn't know how to deal with that because where can you grab him?
Must have been like a stroking a dog, like a dog. But anyway, Sam did lose that one. Djinn did get the actual win on that one.
But it was a clean finish with
It was
no
a clean
dirty tactics.
So yeah, it was all good, was it? Did you just then just walk away and that was? I think there was a fair bit of dirty tactics because
No,
that's what X do.
They behaved. The witch did try to get in the ring at one point, and I told him to
1
get out,
point. It
and
must have
then
been
he
about
got
5
down.
points.
He got down and he got out.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that we'll probably see more of Wildside and Hex. Sam got all the time in the world for Sam. He's absolutely brilliant. But Djinn, please, if you can have a wash, if you can do something, it's
I'm going to
unfair.
bring some spray next time.
That's
I'll
probably a
find
good
out.
idea, yeah. Preferably in their eyes. Right then, so on to our next match. We have, yep, you can read there, yeah. We have Alex Connors versus Eric Battleborn.
That wasn't a dog, that was Eric.
That was Eric, was it?
That was
yeah?
Eric.
Can you do that again?
Like that.
A little bit more. Come on, Eric Battleborn!
No, I can't.
I thought you might knock all your hair out and you won't be able to talk. It's okay. It's okay. Still the champion, yeah?
Still, yes.
Brill. You sure you don't want me to look after that? I can look after that for you. Hide it away.
We could have a wrestle if you wanted.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'll let you keep it.
I'll put it down here for you, Paul, because I know it's distracting.
It is a bit distracting, a bit
There we
like
go.
your get up. Got to admit, it's an improvement.
I came smart today because I knew we were going to be having some serious discussions.
Yeah,
I came in there, my announcer's gear.
yeah. You certainly make an announcement wearing it. I have to admit that. You've got your glasses there as well. Yeah.
No, I got these for you. These are a present for you.
You got-
So I broke them, and they're no good to me. But I thought you could use them still because they've still got the one lens.
Yeah.
So then they'll be okay for you.
So these are for me, yeah.
Yeah, they're for you.
So
There you go. So you can just use the one side.
yeah. You do realise I've only got one eye, and
Yeah, well that's why they're okay because you've got the one lens.
but surely I need to have it so it's at least the other way around. I'll tell you what, I'll look after. Oh, what's that? Anyway, so our next match: Alex Connors versus Eric Battleborn. Now, I have to admit, I have been very impressed with Alex Connors. Right, he's a nasty heel, but him coming out now that it was a bit of a spectacle, wasn't it?
So, yes, you've got a few with him.
What they're called?
I believe it's the Temple of Light.
The Temple of Light.
His
Wow.
group. They came out, they had candles. Tried to tell them they couldn't get in the ring with the candles because of health and safety.
Fair enough.
But they didn't listen. They still got in the ring with the candles. Wasn't really sure how I was supposed to
deal with that situation.
stop. I mean, are they allowed candles in the ring? I mean, I've seen other places have got fire in the corners, so I think a candle's okay.
A candle might be alright, but I don't know what the health and safety of the specific fire standard laws are for wrestling on the independent scene. I haven't got a clue, but I think you did the right thing.
I
did
tried.
the right thing. Yeah, absolutely. You certainly try. You try me sometimes with my patience, but we're all right. So the Temple of Light, yeah,
I believe that's correct. Yes.
Excellent.
Is it? Yes, it is. Yes.
It was fantastic. I have to admit, I was very impressed. Out came his maiden, this woman, the henchmen, the minions of the Temple of Light. I thought
they
it was
do
fantastic.
have a specific name. They're not monks. The druids. Are they druids? Are they
Druids.
I think
the
they're
druids. So very, that sounds
right.
correct. Yeah, druids. Fantastic. I have to admit, I was very impressed, and I have to admit, not just from the entrance, from Alex and Eric, but I have to admit, the whole match was fantastic. Wow! Talk about knocking each other about.
So, when they're out of the ring, are they actually? Because he threw him into the chairs, and I got a bit stuck because technically he didn't hit him with the chairs. He hit the chairs with him. So I think that's okay because he didn't really use a weapon. Because he didn't hit him with the chairs.
I don't
he hit
think
the chairs
it's
with him.
classed as a weapon. No,
So that's okay.
I think it's okay.
So
to
didn't have to DQ there.
It's more frowned upon.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
I got it.
It's like turning up at your uncle's party with no clothes on. That's frowned upon.
Is it?
There's nothing illegal about it, but you shouldn't do it. A little bit of advice for your kids out there, especially if you're in your 20s and somebody's passed you something to try. Anyway, so yes, they did have a fight. You're right there. You back with us, mate?
Yeah.
Sweet. So they did have a fight, like you say. That move where they chucked him into the actual chairs. Wow, I'm surprised Eric didn't just fall apart like an old toy or something like that.
It was a very close count. I got to 9 and 9/10. It was. I think there's a photo where I'm actually about to put up the 10, and it just stops just before the 10 because he rolled in.
Wow, impressive. I have to admit, very impressive.
Do you want to talk about impressive?
Go on, talk about impressive.
So, I've heard they're calling me Riley Miyagi now because on one of the counts I went 1, 2. I've caught a fly.
Yes, I did see that picture.
There's a photo of it. I caught the fly. I don't know how I caught the fly, but it was in my hand.
It was in your hand, wasn't
and
it?
I went, and it was still alive.
Was it?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was upside down, but it was still alive.
I have to admit, they have been calling you something. They've been calling you a fair few things. Not heard Miyagi, but
Ref
yes.
of the year?
Nah.
Crowd favourite?
No, nothing like that, no. Diabetic Bart Simpson was one, so...
And I like sweets.
Yeah. So yeah, the winner for that match was Battleborn. You're right, still there, yeah?
Yeah.
Wicked. Ace. So yeah, Battleborn, he won that one. He's fantastic. So after the interval, we had a tag team match with Drake Wynter and Stephen Keane versus Tyler Davies and Lucas Rowley. Now,
So
go
that
on.
was we had the half time at that point.
We had the half time. Yes, we
had the
did.
half
There was an
time.
interval. Yeah, half
And that
time.
was
yeah.
photos with Hex. It was with Hex.
Yeah, it was with Hex. Yeah. I have to admit, I did feel sorry for these kids going into the ring with them two. Must have not only been a horrible experience, but you'd have had to like say, let's get some Dettol
Yeah.
and clean ourselves. Absolutely.
I was doing signatures for the kids. I got my logo on little bits, and I was
It is,
signaturing and passing it round.
That's right. My
Yeah,
daughter
lovely.
had one, and she got one, and she went ah, and she didn't want to litter the place. That went straight in the bin, mate.
As long as she kept hold of it, that's okay. And she didn't drop it on the floor.
No,
what's
she
important.
didn't. She
That's
didn't.
what's important.
I think she actually went round and picked up others and made sure they were in.
I
there
gave
as
one.
well.
I jumped in for a photo with Hex, and I gave one to Djinn. And he was that impressed. He wanted to keep it as part of him, so he ate it.
That's what he does. So yes, we had Drake Wynter and Stephen Keane versus Tyler Davies and Lucas Rowley. Now, there was something hilarious with this, wasn't there? With this match, because the opening came out and what did we have? We had Tyler Davies there, and do you know what? We'll reenact it. Yeah. Tell you what. Here you go. You reenact it for us there, Harley, mate. Yeah.
Oh.
Total miss. So yeah, he missed the 3 points, which is a shame, but you know, he tried. That's the main thing. He tried. In comes Drake Wynter and Stephen Keane. Now, I have to admit, this was a great pairing. It was nice to see Drake Wynter teaming up with another bad guy, Stephen Keane.
I didn't get to see much of this one because I was at the back.
Was you at the back?
I was at the back at this point. I was getting ready.
Getting ready, was you?
Yeah.
Getting ready for the final match.
No, the one before the final match.
The one before the final match. Okay.
We're only on number 4 here, and there were
Well,
6 on the night.
We'll get to that one. But it's nice to see Drake Wynter with Stephen Keane. I think as a tag team, they really gelled together. We were giving them a lot of stick as the audience. I have to admit, things like Stephen, more like John. I do believe that Drake Wynter really, the path was great with him because he had somebody that he could really interact with Stephen King. Stephen King? Not Stephen King. Stephen Keane. I believe that he could really interact with him very well.
It's definitely an it.
Definitely. They, you know, I would say
Couple of
that
monsters.
monsters indeed. Very lurking around in the dark of Stephen King's mind. Very much like these pair. I have to admit, the Emperor and Stephen King. I'm doing it again. Stephen King. But yeah, I think they worked off to each other very well. With Tyler and Lucas, I have to admit, Lucas, he got a paling again. He got a severe beating by both of them. They were cheating at times. I think the ref.
Been happening if I was out.
If you were there, maybe not. I don't know. But the ref needed more than 2 eyes, which I don't have. But he.
Have you thought about reffing?
No, not at all. Not at all.
I could teach you.
Could you? Okay. Teach me something now.
1, 2. Ah, it was only 2.
Got ya.
It's 2.
2.
So
2 indeed.
you have to get your own. That's mine.
Is it?
2. Yeah. Leroy James used to do 2. So you've got to get your own one.
What about that one?
I don't think they could do that at a family show.
Yeah, Lucas Rowley, yeah, he got his head kicked in, I have to admit. And but Tyler Davies, you know, he fought back well. They both tried really hard, but I have to admit, because of the cheating tactics of Drake Wynter and Stephen King, they got the win again. So, you know, that's there. So our next match, Violent Nyte versus Harley Faith. Now, these pair have seen each other before in the ring. They know how to fight. But this was more than a fight, not just a brawl. This was something different. This was a real punch out. I have to admit, I don't think they like each other at all. This is
Harley was very reluctant to give up that bat.
Yeah, you had to drag that out of her dead cold hands, man.
And then she chased me out the ring with it.
I would. I mean, if it was me, I would still be chasing you now, trying. Hey, you have a bit of that. Teach you that. But no, I believe that these two do not like each other at all. I think they want to hurt each other, and that is exactly what they did. In the ring, out the ring, it was all over the shop. Do you want to tell me any more, mate, about it? About the experience of seeing this firsthand in the ring?
They were. It was brutal. It was brutal. They were hitting each other left, right, and centre. They were just. There was no domination from either of them. I think at any point it could have been anybody's match.
True.
But
very true.
ultimately, it went to
Violet Nyte.
Well done, Paul. Yes, it went to Violet Nyte. I've got a bit of an announcement.
We've got an announcement, okay.
The podcast is now going to be going out on Spotify and some other ones.
And some other ones.
But
Excellent.
they obviously don't have the visuals that you guys would have been getting through watching it on YouTube. So I just want to say to all of those listening, look what I've got in my hand. Now you'll have to come and watch us on YouTube as well so that you can find out what that was. Ta-da!
Is that right? The magic of
television.
And technology and
Technology vision.
Technology vision. The
Got
science of now. You can hear us, but if you want to see us, I mean, if you don't want to see Riley, do the Spotify thing on the podcast with the headphones. If you do want to see him for some strange reason, you can. Easier. In all his glory, in all of that orange, in all of that tight orange as well.
It's not tight, I can get my leg right up there.
Oh my god, I feel like I've been tangoed. If you want to see this, then tune in to TTW on YouTube to see more of this. Loads
Backdoor
of
access.
this. Backstage access.
Backstage access.
Backstage access.
Got it, I've got it.
Say it again.
Backdoor access. Backgate access.
So our final match for Alter Beats was...
I wasn't in it. Oh, you mean who did it? It was Mickey Rowley versus Scott Wenlock, the Prince Snake.
Yep, the Serpent Supreme. Now, I have to say, Scott Wenlock has really improved for me. When I look, he's been doing some promos with Mickey Rowley to build up to this match, and he has changed. He has changed. I remember him back
Well, we
in
had
the day.
those previously, didn't we? Because that was in the build-up to this show. All the promos that he cut, and then he had his response. And they did come out swinging. I might have snuck in through the back and had a look.
Well, I've got to admit, to think that a few years ago he seemed to job out to some guys, but now this kid here, Scott Wenlock, I have to admit, he has climbed his own personal demons to become this thing now, the Snake Prince, the Serpent Supreme. I have to admit, I will say this, even though he's a sneaky swine, I do believe this guy's going to go far.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to go far. But also, I have to admit, he didn't make it easy for Mickey. I have to say that. He didn't make it easy for Mickey, but Mickey has not been sitting on his laurels. He has not rested for this. He has trained. He has made sure psychologically he's on point. This kid, Scott Wenlock, is out not just to try and beat him in the ring, but he's also out there to try and beat him in the mind. He's playing mind games. He's playing tricks. He's certainly trying to get him off his game. He's certainly trying to disorientate him in his head to try and get these wins. And I have to admit, that's the reason why this was a scrap. This was a proper fight. These two do not like each other, and they were out at it. And I have to admit, it was absolutely brilliant. For an audience point of view, it was fantastic. They did not just put on a show, they put on a fight.
They were fighting in the ring, out the ring, by the ring, on the ring. It was everywhere.
Yeah.
It was.
It was a wallop.
Yeah, it really was. That was. I would possibly say, if we're doing how you were 5-starring matches last time, I think this was possibly better than the match Mickey had against Dante.
I have to admit, I can't help but agree with you on that one.
I think
it was fantastic. I think they both give as good as they could. They both knew that it wasn't going to be an easy match. Psychologically, they had to outwit each other. And at the end of it, we had our winner, Mickey, who, he deserved it, but wow.
I think that's what made it such a good match. We both know, and everybody knows, that Dante and Mickey can go at it, and that's going to be an absolute banger of a match. I think a lot of people came into this thinking Mickey's going to slap Scott around.
Yeah.
Scott might get in a few things, but it's going to be, it's going to be clearly going to be Mickey. And then when it went down, I think at any given point it could have been either of them. And I think that's what makes it just that little bit better, because we weren't expecting it.
Not at all. If anything, on paper you could say, Mickey's got this in the bag. Mickey's got this in the bag easily. But far from it. Far from it. To me, Scott Wenlock, he's no longer a kid. He's no longer wet behind the ears. He is no longer this guy that would job out to other guys. He's become a man. He's become the Snake Prince!
Was that good time, Paul?
Yeah. It scared the life out of me, but yeah. I have to admit, you're right. I have to tell you now, everybody, watch out. Scott Wenlock, he's going to be coming for you. So, we still have our Rowley Rivers.
Just keep it safe, because you said Scott's coming, so
yeah,
I'll keep that safe.
No worries at all. You keep that safe, pal, because I'm sure that if Scott had that, he would lob that in the nearest cut. I'm sure he would. So that was the end of our show. That was Alter Beats down in Wombourne.
Alter Beats!
That's a good one, that. Good one. If you did it a lot more, so you lost your voice, that would be even better. But we can't have everything.
That could be arranged.
Just want to say thank you to Wombourne for having us at the show there.
Thank you, Wombourne!
We will see you at the next show.
But before that, we'll see you on the next podcast.
Yes. Which will be
for Altered Bit. No, that's that one. It's
Strikes of Rage.
Strikes of Rage.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Goodbye.
Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah? Is he really coming for my belt?
I don't know.
Right,
But if he does,
I'm going to look this up. And then, what day is it?
it's Thursday.
It's a Thursday. Right, so I've got to keep it safe for 2 more days. And then that's the day off, so then I'll bring it back out then. Job done.
Sound?
Bye, Paul.
I'll see you soon, mate. Ta-ra. Backstage access every time.
Hi, the Snake Prince, Scott Wenlock. You're watching TTW, Backstage Access.